Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Barbershop. My name is T. Holla.
And yes, I'm Marcus Trufant.
That's right. And we are the voice of the people, the voice inside the locker room with a barbershop, true?
And yes, the barbershop, for those of you who don't know or have been to a urban barbershop, it's not only about getting your hair cut, getting the fresh lineup, fresh fade or whatever. You talk about everything under the sun, sports, current events. You talk about your ladies. You talk about your kids. You talk about stuff you used to do in the past. Some stories get stretched a little bit, but that's how it is in the barbershop.
That's exactly how it is in the barbershop. We talk current events, and the biggest current event that's happening right now, not just in Seattle, but around the entire National Football League, has been Kam Chancellor, the strong safety for the Seattle Seahawks, Legion of Boom. He's been holding out contract negotiations with the front office. Couple of months, he's been missing the entire season, and he's back. He came back today. He's back at work. True. What do you think it's going to be like with Kam Chancellor back in the building?
Kam Chancellor back in the building, it's going to be big, man. It's going to be big. A lot of people think, okay, he could be rusty, he could be this, he could be that. I think he's going to be good, man. I know he's been training hard. He's been posting on Twitter and Instagram with his shirt off. I'm not looking like that, but he's been working out. He's been shining a little bit. I've been watching. So, I think it's going to be good. It's not like he's had an injury or anything like that and missed time and had to sit down and really had to rest like that. He's been working. So I think he's going to be fresh. It might take him a couple plays, a couple quarters, but he's going to be ready to go.
Yeah, it's been really interesting to listen to a lot of people talk, not just around the city, but around the country, really, having opinions about him holding out, how he was wrong for doing what he's doing. And, maybe some people have been riding with him saying, get your money, do your thing, Kam, because, the NFL stands for not for long. Especially you got injuries like Kam had last season. He wanted to make sure some of his money was guaranteed. We don't know exactly why he was holding out and why he was doing what he was doing, but we finally got a chance to hear from him today, and this is some of the stuff that he had to say.
Whatever you want to say. It's all yours.
I'm just happy to be back. Just happy to be back playing football. Happy to be back with the organization, with my team, with my teammates, my coaches. They were highly missed. It was hard to watch those games. I'm just ready to play football now.
Why now?
I think it was that time. Talked to a few guys, got some great words from people. I just feel like the time is now. I always been a guy who followed my heart. And just watching my teammates and my team play week to week, first, second game, and, watching those losses, it hurt me, just being a leader that I am. So, I think the time is now to, come back and put all business to the side and address it after the season, just get back to work.
All right, so Kam is glad to be back in Seattle with his brothers, with his teammates. True, I know you never really held out before, but, what is it like, when you've been away from the team for a little while? You guys go through the off season and you go home and spend some time with your family and you're away from the team. Then you finally get a chance to come back to the team, to your brothers. What's that feeling like?
You know what? It's a good feeling, and I think in this situation, I think the tug at the heart got a little too powerful. I think it started to become more than just about business, more than just about the checks, and I think he went outside of himself. He's seen his team is 0-2.
They was getting beat down.
Yeah, they're getting beat down. So I know that's playing a part, and he's probably watching those games thinking, okay, if I was in the game, I could be here, I could be doing this, I could be doing that. I know I do that sometimes, and I'm retired. I'm done playing the game, but as a player, as a competitor, that you want to get in there. And Kam, he's a fierce competitor. Bam, he's doing his thing after he makes some big hits. So, man, it just pulls at the heartstrings. And when he did their press conference right there, man, it sounded like he's just ready to go, man. He's just taking it in the stride. It wasn't like he had something written down and stuff like that. He just freestyled. He's ready to go.
Right. Now, he might be mentally ready to go, True, but just like I know, man, when you're in that gym and you're working out, you're hitting the weights, and you're on the track and you're running, that's one thing. But when you get back out on that field, that's a whole entirely different thing. So, thinking you can get there. I know mentally he's ready to get there, but I think it's going to take a couple of steps for him to get back into the rotation, man. Hitting and banging on every play.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And I know Kam, he'll probably do something at practice, extra work after practice, extra work before just to get himself ready because he knows that. He's a pro.
He's a gladiator.
And Yeah, man, there's nothing that can simulate the game. So, you know, to be at home and to be pushing your homeboys around at the park, practicing,
Right.
getting ready, that's not the same as going against NFL talent. But just like I said, man, his timing might be a little bit off, but he is one of those guys. He's going to study the game inside and out. And I say the same about Earl Thomas. He missed a lot of time in the offseason, but he's ready to go, and he doesn't seem like he's missed a beat either. So I think he'll be ready.
Speaking of Earl Thomas, we got Richard Sherman, Earl Thomas, and Kam Chancellor round out the Legion of Boom. And one of those guys, Richard Sherman, was obviously glad to have my man Kam Chancellor back in the locker room. He has some things to say as well.
Oh, it's great. It's great to get him back. You know, it's great to get him back out there. I think he'll have a seamless transition. He seems excited to be out there. He seems in shape, so it'll be fantastic.
What'd your defense and secondary miss specifically without him?
You know, I mean, he does a great job of, you know, obviously his presence is always felt. But, you know, he's a smart player. He understands where he needs to be on the field. He understands offenses. I think we do a great job of filling each other out, you know, out there in the secondary, and he's a big part of that.
Did you think opponents were emboldened a little bit to go across the middle and test the middle without him?
Necessarily. I think you know, last game they had a few free plays, and you don't have anything to lose on a play. You can throw it anywhere. You know, so I think a lot of the plays came from that, and you know, some of them, you know, just guys being in position, guys making great plays.
You mentioned the mental approach. Cam, and he's a big guy, intimidator, all that stuff. But how important is he as someone who lines himself up, lines other people up, that helps that defense, that back step, that secondary coalesce?
He does. Like I said, he does a great job. You know, obviously lining himself up, but making sure everybody has the call. You know, the safeties have certain responsibilities to make certain calls and to make certain checks, and he does a great job of relaying that.
Well, they finally got the boys back together. They're going to be out there this weekend doing their thing against the Chicago Bears. They're coming here to Seattle to the CenturyLink Field. They're going to be missing their quarterback, Jay Cutler, so I don't know whether that's a good thing or a bad thing because, you know, Jay Cutler has been accused of stealing money. He's been stealing money for a couple years,
Yeah.
but
I ain't mad at him, though.
right. I ain't mad at him either, but get your money, Jay Cutler, but you're not going to get it this weekend against the Seahawks.
Nah.
But they got Jimmy Clausen coming in here. What's your prediction? What do you think is going to happen this weekend?
You know what? I think they're going to come in and probably try to run the ball because there's no way that they're going to come in here and try to throw it. Of course, they might try to test Cam. I would assume maybe early just to kind of see where he's at, but I don't see them throwing the ball around like that. I think they're going to rely on the run game, and they're going to hope their defense can withstand the Marshawn, Russell, and the Jimmy Graham, hopefully.
Speaking of Jimmy
Attack.
Graham, man, by the way, you know,
Right.
what's going on with Jimmy Graham? We paid him all this money
Yeah, we
to
paid him
be
big
here.
time cash. So.
We traded the farm to get him here, and then we don't even throw him the ball. What's the deal with that?
But you know what? I think they're scared to death of the Percy Harvin effect, of trying to force the ball to him and force things to him, and then it's still not working. So I think they want to let it happen organically. Kind of naturally, allegedly.
Yeah,
But at the same time, though, you got to try some different stuff. You got to treat him like a wide receiver. I mean, having him in the three-point stance, he's trying to block people. He's doing a fairly good job. You know, I'm Team Graham, but I think you got to split him up, and or out to the outside. You got to use the mismatch that he is. The linebackers can't cover him, too slow. You know, the corners most of the time are too small, so you put him out there and you use the mismatch.
Either way, I think they need to pull it together this weekend. They finally got Bam Bam back in the fold. They got Jimmy Graham. They need to utilize him a little bit better this weekend. They'll be at home in CenturyLink, where we know is always an incredibly hard place for an opponent to come in here and play. So
I got a question for you, Tito, before we jumped too far. Going back to the Richard Sherman interview we just heard, what do you think he really said to Cam, like on the text or on the phone when he came into the locker room? Or because I assume he talked to him probably before he came back. You know, the press conference, he was pretty vanilla. He was pretty plain. But what do you think he really said to him?
well, you know, just like I know, you've been in a lot of locker rooms. I've been in a lot of locker rooms. I don't think it was anything that had to do with football, really, or anything that was on the field. I think they have a relationship that stretches past the white lines. You know what I'm saying? I think it was probably more, man, brother, I'm glad to have you back. Man, we missed you in the locker room. We missed your presence. Probably not in those words. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I dig it.
you know.
It was probably on some jokey joke because, you know, the locker
joke.
rooms can be tough.
Yeah.
You got to have thick skin to be in the locker room. to handle the jokes and the pranks and all that kind of stuff. So I think it was jokey joke, man.
You think he was saying, yo, you was just out at the crib hanging out, playing Xbox. You didn't want to come take these licks like we was taking.
Man, I don't know what he said, but he's back.
Yeah, he's back. So welcome back to Seattle, man. We're glad to have you back. Hopefully some big things happen this weekend. Man, some other news that's been happening in Seattle, man. We've been under paralysis, true.
Stuck.
We've been stuck. What, was it an earthquake? A tornado? Some kind of natural disaster?
Did it rain on it? Was it?
It would rain on their head?
rain on your head?
No, man. The president of China, Xi Jinping, I believe that's how you say his name.
President Xi.
President Xi, yeah.
President Xi.
He came to Seattle and shut it down. All the traffic was shut down in all directions. They shut the one interstate in Seattle, I-5, down for like 20 miles, true.
You know, people had to take off work. They had to do everything.
Yeah,
take off work and...
That's what I just don't understand. So the actual Department of Transportation came out and they recommended that you stay home. How do you stay home when you got to go to work?
Man, I don't know how it works. You know, Shorty can't eat these books. I say that all the time, you know what I'm saying? So it comes down to just the, I don't know if I'm saying this right, the national security for China. You know, he's here, he's doing some different stuff. So you just think if President Obama, he went over to China, they just not going to let it be a free-for-all and let him do different stuff. The Seahawks, I think there was some stuff that was supposed to be planned and didn't really work with the security clearances and stuff like that. So you really got to evaluate this kind of stuff. They just not going to have the freeway open with all types of foolishness can go on. So, you know, I kind of dig it. I get it.
You know what happened? He was going to Tacoma.
T-Town.
They had to have that security extra tight when he went to T-Town, baby.
Yeah.
You know how that goes down. But I got stuck in it twice. I'm not getting front to y'all. I got stuck in it twice. We actually had some footage. The cameraman was following me around. So this was me in traffic earlier today.
Right, hold it. Get back there.
All right.
Hey, you dumb bitch, you cut me off. What's the matter with you? Move up or move back. Get out of the way. What the hell are you, moron? Come on, if I want to be in a parking lot, I'll buy a ticket, you dumb goddamn bitch.
So yeah, true. That's how I felt, man, the day in traffic, man. I was ready to get out the car and sock somebody.
Man, that's rough. And traffic is so bad out here, and that just made it even worse. You know, I know I'm telling on myself right now, but I'm guilty. I ride in the carpool every day by myself. So I know with traffic being stopped, the freeway being shut down, I would have lost it. I definitely would have lost it. I have no patience for traffic.
No patience. You wouldn't have had no patience because there was not even an option to go in the carpool lane. They shut that down too. So you saved yourself. You're not going to get a ticket this time. And you're not going to jail. President Xi. Shout out to President Xi.
Yes, sir.
We'll see you later.
You're
Please
right.
never come back to Seattle, man, and do us like that again. But looking around the league, man, the National Football League, because the National Football League is hot right now, true.
Mm-hmm.
There's some other interesting stories that are going on out there. Anything caught your eye?
You know what? I heard of a older gentleman that's trying to potentially come back to the NFL with the absence of one Dez Bryant.
Oh, yeah.
Terrell.
Terrell Owens.
Terrell, yes.
Terrell.
Yes.
Yeah. He's been out of the league how many years? Like three years maybe even.
Probably more than that.
And he's trying to make a comeback. He set a shot. Basically, for y'all that don't know, the Dallas Cowboys have had the misfortune of losing their all-pro quarterback to a broken collarbone, their all-pro wide receiver to a broken foot, and now they just kind of ass out. So, yeah, now they're looking for a receiver and a quarterback, and Terrell Owens is trying to make a comeback.
But you know what the funny thing is, though? I think he might be okay if he was to come back. I know he's older, and to be honest, I've seen him at practice, of course, because he came through Seattle. You know, he played training. He was there for training camp. I seen him get dogged at practice the first day. He was a little rusty, and you know Brandon Browner is a bigger corner.
Sure enough.
So the first play from scrimmage, Brandon Browner was on him, dogged him out. The next couple of days, he was like, "All right, cool, I get it." You know what I'm saying? He came to practice every day. Every day, he got better and better. By like the 5th day of practice, he's taking people up top. He's taking people deep. So I think T.O. is one of those freaks of nature kind of like our guy, kind of like Lawyer Malloy. You know, he played for 15 years. It seemed like the guy seems to get younger. So I think T.O. got some of that same juice, man. Even though he's starting to look a little old in the face, I think he got that
Getting a
hard
little long
shave
in the
now.
face
Yeah.
a little bit.
A little long in the
Yeah,
face.
a little long in the
yeah.
face. Well, I got two things to say about T.O. First of all, you mentioned Lawyer Malloy,
Yeah.
which is interesting because this is how old Terrell Owens is right now. He and Lawyer Malloy are both on the ballot to go into the Hall of Fame
You're right.
next year.
You're
So
right.
imagine that. A guy that's potentially going into the Hall of Fame being able to come back and play in a game, first of all.
I think that'd be a first, though.
It would be an absolute first.
In the Hall of Fame, but
And
still
playing at the
playing
same
at the
time?
same time. Is that against the rules?
I don't think it can happen, man. So, T.O., stick it out, wait your turn, man. Going to get your Hall of Fame thing in first. Don't worry about coming back to play with these kids. And second of all, when he did come to play for the Seahawks, man, Terrell owed me some money, man. I was betting people that he owed me some money, man. You owe me some money. I put money on it that you was going to make the team and you was going to ball out, and I lost. He didn't make the team. I had to pay somebody some money, and I had to wear some Denver Broncos dangly earrings in both my ears.
And not the Michael Jordan. The Jordan?
No, they was Denver Broncos. They was actually.
I know, but I'm saying.
And they dangled down like a woman.
Did you like that, or what was the?
We're not gonna talk about it
because I saw I seen you in those last week, and I think the bet had been over.
Right? All right, it's another episode of the Barbershop. Join us here every week at Barbershop 206. Myself, T. Holla, and True will be here bringing you the hottest news, the hottest action that's in the city, that's around the country.
Oh yeah, baby! Only in the Barbershop. We keep it live, uncut, and we hold no punches. We keep it real.
We keep it real, man. So until next time, peace.